Oh my God, Florida is trash. So I moved from California to Florida. Biggest mistake I've ever made. Everyone online makes it sound like Florida is some paradise. It is the furthest thing from a paradise, the furthest. It's hot, there's humidity, there's a thunderstorm every other day. The people are weird. The bugs are insane, and don't even get me going about the different bars and clubs. Oh, and the people that think it's okay to wear flip-flops every day. Like, California is not even that much more expensive, and at least you can have a decent life there. Like, if it wasn't for ashwagandha, my mind would be hooked living here. If you live in Florida, I feel so sorry for you, and if you're thinking about moving to Florida, think again.
Put your finger down if it took you well over a year to finally convince your family to move to Florida, and you've only been here for 2.5 months, and it's nothing like you thought it was. So now you're about to pack up to go back to Lexington, Kentucky, and your family looks at you like you're stupid. I have already taken full accountability for this terrible life decision, so I will be removing myself from all future decision making, and we're going back to Lexington.
You guys are pissed that I said I hate living in Florida. So I'm going to give you more reasons I hate living in Florida. For starters, and I'm not scared to say it, the people here are weird and they are mean, and I'm tired of pretending like they're not. I grew up in West Virginia and Kentucky, and while they most certainly have their flaws, they do have Southern hospitality, and that is a lost art once you get past the Georgia state line. And I know we would say like, oh, Florida can't be grouped in with the South. It's totally different. It's totally different. Let's get one thing straight. Florida is not like Miami. Miami can maybe be considered its own little area. Anything else in Florida is the South. North Florida is the deep South, matter of fact. The literal only thing missing is the Southern hospitality, and that's one of the only good things about the South. One time I heard someone say when you go further north in the U.S., people are kind. When you go south, people are nice. There is definitely a difference. People in Florida are neither, actually. They're not either. They're just mean. This might be a hot take, but outside of like Miami, the bigger cities here are literally just small towns in disguise. I personally have never been to Tampa, but like Jacksonville, Orlando, West Palm, pretty much everything closes at 9 p.m. These are small towns just on a big surface area. I think a lot of people are like, oh, Orlando, for example, they have Disney, they have Universal, they have SeaWorld, they have Disney, Universal, and we don't go to SeaWorld. The reality of it is, 9 times out of 10, when you hang out with your friends, you're either going to your house or you're going to dinner in any given one of those places. Now, Jacksonville and West Palm, they have a beach. That's pretty much it. There is not much else to do. Like, the reality of it is, if you're not super settled down, like damn near married, or have a lot of friends, you're going to be spending pretty much every single day doing the same exact thing you did the day before, and it's not much. If you move here for any reason other than college, you're going to have a harder time making and keeping friends because, like I said, a lot of people are married or settled down once they're like 21, 22, probably because they're so damn bored. And yes, of course they can be your friend, but they're just in a totally different like mindset place in their life to where it's like they're probably not going to want to do the same exact things. Moral of the story, Florida is not Miami, Florida is not Disney World, so don't drink the Kool-Aid, y'all. I'm warning you.
Yeah, I hear that a lot. Florida is crazy. It's trash, alligators, all types of mystical creatures popping out of the woodworks. It's wild. Look at this next one, man.
Okay, so whoever said, why do you want to move to Florida? It's going to be hot all the time. You're going to be miserable. You're lying. I'm freezing right now. Can you, like, my lips even feel a little numb. And it's like 53 degrees in Southwest Florida. And before you come after me, I'm from Ohio, so I know all about the cold. I was worried about not having a fall, and it's Halloween, and it feels like fall, but I still get to look at palm trees, so I'm a happy girl. Who else moved from a cold state down to Florida? Southwest Florida particularly, because it can be a little bit warmer down here. How do you feel about the day today?
To all the people that don't believe the people that say Florida is not like vacation, living here is different, believe them. I moved here from living in Minnesota. I lived in Nevada for like a year, but from Minnesota. I never thought I would live in Florida, but it just kind of happened. I always thought I'd be in California. Not the point though. Moving here, I was like so excited, like this is gonna be amazing. Unless you're rich, living in Florida is like living anywhere else, but way more expensive because yeah, you have the beach, you have Disney, but you gotta be rich to be able to do those things often. It's so like contradicting, like I'm contradicting myself because I'm very sad because I'm moving out of Florida, and it is for the best for sure. Like living here is just not economically easy, I guess. It is very expensive to live in Florida, but I keep telling myself like I feel like I didn't appreciate Florida enough, but then I'm like, yeah, but that's because I had to work 24/7 and I didn't have time to ever go do anything. So it's like, I think it's better to live somewhere else where you can make money, you can actually save money, and then vacation in Florida. I think people that don't live here will appreciate it more. So maybe one day I'll be back. One day I'll have a millionaire mansion in Miami or something, but for now it's just not. I'm very sad that I'm leaving because it is amazing here, but you know, it is what it is.
If you're somebody who's genuinely considering moving to Florida from another state, here is something that you should really consider before you jump into a move here. And I'm not going to sit here and give you my own opinion because I know a lot of other Floridians will do that and they'll do so very harshly. I'm going to tell you something that you should really think of. And it's not going to be hurricanes because I'm sure you already know that one. If you don't know, most of Florida right now is suffering from a pretty significant water shortage, with many counties across the state being told to reduce their water consumption, only water lawns once a week, really to try to save water because our aquifers are running pretty low. And one of the biggest reasons why this is happening is because we just did not get a lot of rain at all this past summer. It's a drought, it's natural conditions, this happens. You can say that climate change is a factor, but sometimes we just have dry years, right? But right now in Florida, if you don't know about the wet and dry season, we are just starting the dry season and we are already having a water shortage. The dry season ends in June. So we have until June to basically survive on what we have. And a real reason why this is something that you should consider is because right now our water systems in Florida and our aquifers aren't built to sustain the amount of people that live here. They were built to sustain millions less. Right now, we really are over capacity for our water supply. And our state's population is expected to grow by, I think, a couple million by 2030. So what kind of pressure is that going to put on our fresh water resources? Are we going to have enough water to meet everybody's demands? What's the price of water going to be like? Now we have AI data centers coming into the mix that use fresh water. And our already strained fresh water supplies are likely to be reduced in the coming years with increased saltwater intrusion into our aquifers. So that's another thing to think about. So yeah, when people post on here that they're like, oh, should I move to Florida? And the comments are all like rage-baited Floridians that are like, we're full, stop, don't come here. Like, I think we forget that there is actually like a capacity to how many people can use the natural resources of a state. We cannot have unlimited growth. Our water doesn't just like come out of nowhere. It comes from the sky, which feeds into our aquifer, and there's only so much of it to go around. Yeah, you might think that people sound jealous or they're gatekeeping when they comment things like that and they sound like really aggressive, but it is true that our natural resources are really being strained, and that's something that you need to think about before you think about moving here, because it's not just about how expensive it is. It's not just about the hurricanes.
Think long and hard. Think long and hard before you pack that box, my boy. It ain't worth it. Look at this one.
I mentioned like possibly me moving to like North Carolina, and I know that that's like a random I don't really want to live in South Florida anymore, which might sound crazy because if you would have asked me that like 3 years ago, I would have been like, I'm never leaving. I love it here so much. I'm from a very small town, really the cornfields, and I grew up like that, so I wanted this life. And you can really only like kind of put on that mask here for so long until you're just like, this isn't like me. Last year I moved to Fort Lauderdale, and I feel like I was kind of going down like the wrong path in the sense of hanging out like with the wrong people and, you know, partying a lot. Actually, it was taking massive toll on my mental state. That's kind of why I want to leave like Fort Lauderdale. To make friends here, I feel like you have to be like wanting to drink every single night. So super random to throw this into the mix. I stopped drinking. I'm not like sober, but like it's not something I'll talk in a different video about that. Hunter and I would go visit his family in like North Carolina. I realized that I miss the smaller town vibes, which I never thought that I would say, but it's different there. It's not like Illinois small town. It made me like happy going there, and like I get excited to go back. So like that's how I realized like, okay, I don't know, and I'm not always very happy here in Florida. Again, all I can explain it as is like, I feel like you can only put on this front of like wanting to be fit in down here for so long until you're just like, I don't want to fit in anymore. I don't want, you know, my friends only ask me to go out if we're going out to drink. But like back at home, we could do like cute little things. Like I'm going to the fucking pumpkin patch and shit. And also too, expenses wise, it's just super expensive to live down here. I think my frontal lobe has developed, and I'm just like, I would never go back and change a thing though. Like I loved like being in South Florida. I wouldn't have grown my career to what it is if I didn't move down here. I think that that's like a super great thing about it. But in terms of like what I want in the future, I don't think it's this. So I don't know. I think it's kind of cool though that like I kind of realized that within the last year. And I think it's cool that like I have like an idea of like what my life could look like in the future. And it'd be fun to like take you guys along on that because I took you guys on my journey from Illinois to Florida. So it'd be cool to, you know, see where I go next. And especially like, I bet it's a shock to like some people that I'm being like, oh, I want to go back to like a smaller town thing. Just, I don't know, I'm just being real though, and like how I feel. And I'm always just like follow my gut and what I am feeling and what I want to do. And this is kind of like where I've been. I don't mind, like, obviously we're going to stay in Florida for a little bit longer. But definitely just gonna go back up to like a more chill area, not like so city. I've been on a little bit of a mental health journey and I think it's like opened up my eyes. And I guess I could talk a little bit about that as well. I want like a cow. I want like pigs and like chickens and shit. And I want a house in the middle of nowhere and a salon somewhere, I think. I don't know what I want. Well, I do kind of like I'm gonna be here anyway, still living the South Florida life for a little bit, which is fine. Like I'm not trying to rush anything. That's why I'm like, whatever happens, like things work out the way that they do. And yeah, so I guess we'll see, but this is where I'm at right now. So I just wanted to explain that.
Here's 5 reasons you may not want to move to Florida. This is coming from someone who just moved here, and now that I've been here 5 months, I can see why sometimes people regret their decision. One is you think you're going to save money. So that's one of the main reasons why I moved here. And it's just really not that simple. There are so many factors involved. Like, first of all, what area are you moving to in Florida? And second of all, what's your situation? So for me, I downsized from a 5-bedroom home to an apartment and cut my living expenses like in half. So I am definitely saving money. But if you're going to be coming down here with a family and you have to feed them, the groceries are really expensive. And so I could see how that could add up really quickly. Number 2 is if you're used to being around a group of friends and family members on a daily basis and you're thinking of moving away from them, you might regret your decision. So I really only left behind my 19-year-old son, which has been hard enough. My family didn't live near me anyway where I was. But I could see that it would be a really tough transition if you made a huge move like that and you just didn't have that support system. Number 3 is an obvious one. If you don't like the heat and humidity, you definitely don't want to move to Florida. It's May and it's 90 degrees. I'm personally loving it. I love this weather and I'm so happy that it's May and it's 90 degrees, but I know it is not for everyone. Number 4 is about jobs, and I've done a few posts about this. But don't move here and then think you're just going to wing it when you get here and get a job. Because unless you're in the service industry, it may not be that easy. And wages could be lower depending on where you're coming from. The other thing is, even if you have a job, I would make sure that you map out your commute when you decide on where to live. Because a 20-minute commute could easily be an hour and 20 minutes. Number 5 is don't think by moving to Florida, it's going to fix your life. And I know that sounds silly, like who would think that? Well, I actually kind of thought that when I started thinking about moving here like 5 years ago. And I'm not saying by, removing yourself from an environment that doesn't serve you is not life-changing, because it is, because I'm testimony to that. But with that being said, I did a lot of self-development work over the last 5 years. So just remember, you bring yourself with you, you bring your problems with you, and it's this you have to work on, because this has been a major transition for me, more than I even anticipated. And again, like I did a lot of work ahead of time. So just know that, that it's going to be a major move. And with that comes major shifts, and you have to be prepared mentally to handle all of that. Love Florida. I do not regret my decision at all, but it's only been 5 months. And I'm going to keep vlogging. If you have any other questions, I'm trying to get to as many as I can. Sometimes the comment section gets too long, but I'm going to start also showing you some of the places around here that I'm going to. So keep following.
No, y'all kill me with that. I want to move to Miami. I want to move to Florida. It just looks so inspiring because y'all get fooled by the yachts and the Don Julio bottles and the condos. I'm telling you, people ain't living like you think they living up here. All right. Yes, Florida is nice. Florida has grown a lot. It's beautiful. The palm trees, the high top buildings, the penthouses is beautiful. But people ain't living like you think they living. So make sure you ain't chasing no man or chasing no woman to Florida. Okay? When you come to Florida, you gotta work. Work hard, okay? I ain't got these dark circles for nothing. You gotta work in Florida, all right? You gotta have a couple jobs because Florida don't pay you enough. So you gotta have a couple jobs with you. Y'all look at the lifestyle online and think, oh, it's so beautiful and luxury. No, people working out here, okay? People really working. And don't be confused about them lifestyles because everybody ain't living them lifestyles that you think they living online when it comes to Florida. I'm telling you, okay? From somebody that's born and raised there. Relax. Come visit and leave. We too crowded anyway. So come visit and leave. Don't move here.
Hey, y'all better listen to him. This next guy, he gonna give you the reasons. Let's get into it.
All right, well, I'm going to change things up today, and you often hear me talk about the positives of moving to Southwest Florida. And I've compiled a list of 5 reasons why people end up regretting moving to Southwest Florida. Are you ready to hear them? All right, so I took some notes, and I'm going to go over this pretty quick. I don't want this to be a long video, but here are the top 5 reasons people regret moving to Southwest Florida. And number 1 is going to be they underestimate the cost of living. And you have homeowners insurance, you may have flood insurance, HOA fees, and property taxes can change upon settlement. So you can't go off of what the property taxes are when you buy it. They can change when you settle. So the first one is underestimating the cost of living. Number 2, didn't realize how seasonal Southwest Florida is. Now, what do I mean? We all move there for the weather, and wintertime is absolutely beautiful. But wintertime brings more people, higher population, more traffic, can't get into a restaurant, depending on your area. And I'm speaking about Naples, and all of that is true. Number 3 is choosing the wrong community. You know, this is a big one. Golf communities are not for everyone. Listen, do you know how many people I talk to that live on golf communities that don't golf, and they're in the direct path of a golf ball, and their house gets beat up every single day by these golfers? So that is a big one. So that's number 3. Number 4 is they weren't prepared for hurricane season. Now, obviously, hurricane season runs from June to November, and storm prep has to become a part of life when you do live down there. You know, where are you going to go? You know, who's going to put up your shutters? So all of that, once you get used to it, it's not a problem, you know. And then number 5 is they miss their families and relatives. You know, everybody wants to move down there, but then they forget, like, oh, I have grandkids, or, oh, I miss my daughter, my son. You know, obviously we moved to Southwest Florida for the lifestyle and the weather. Listen, they're the 2 top reasons, right? So there's tons of advantages of moving to Southwest Florida, and there are some disadvantages. So these are my 5 reasons why people regret moving to Southwest Florida. Number 1, again, underestimate the cost of living. Number 2, didn't realize how seasonal it was. Wintertime is beautiful, but boy, does it get busy. Number 3, choosing the wrong community. This is a big one. I often hear people move into communities and didn't realize that it's for retirees when they have a young family. So you got to be careful. And number 4, weren't prepared for hurricane season. Now listen, we may not get another hurricane for 10 years, but you need to be aware of the preparation. And number 5 is they miss their friends, family, and relatives. So again, tons of advantages, a few disadvantages, but listen, here is why it's important. Schedule a free, no obligation discovery call with me. We will go over all of this. We will hone in on what you're looking for, the type of lifestyle you want, your budget, your timing, motivation, type of community you want. I will go over all of this, and this call can last about an hour. So I always say, be prepared to sit for 45 minutes with me, whether it's over the phone or over Zoom. So listen, I'm an optimist by nature, but you know what? There are some reasons people regret moving to Southwest Florida. Remember, the most important decision that you're going to make when buying or selling real estate, it's not about location. It's about the broker you hire.
Florida ain't it, man. Y'all hanging off the map of the United States. That's not it, man. If y'all think regret moving to Florida is one thing, that's nothing. Imagine living off the grid. Off the grid in Florida is two different things. Well, kind of Florida might be kind of like off the grid because it ain't really got much over there. But imagine living off the grid, man. That could be a nightmare. If y'all want to see how it could be a nightmare, make sure I click this video right here and I'm going to see you over there. I'm gone.